Hello, and welcome to The Monster Painter. And look who's back. It's Dave. And you brought us something today, Dave.
I brought us my Bardsung Kickstarter.
Holy mackerel, that's a big box. Let's take a look. Well, we can open it.
Yes, we can open it up. Oh, you'll notice that there's a dent here. See, the Kickstarter was supposed to have a no dent stretch goal. We didn't reach that funding.
Let's see here. 8.5 kilograms of game.
Yeah, quite heavy. And this is just the...
Ooh, paper!
This is just the base game. And but what the heck? Okay, so this is
Big box.
that's stretch goals.
Stretch goals.
This is air.
Air. Right. Packaging.
This is cardboard.
More packaging.
Oh, okay. And well, let's that and it comes. It's a boy. All right. More. Wow. More air.
Oh my gosh. This really is 8 kilograms of game. Holy mackerel. This is
It's Gloomhaven size for sure.
Gloomhaven-esque for sure, but maybe not with the paper standees.
Alright, so
Okay.
and then turn it around so you can see what
there's the packaging. Looks enticing. Is this going to be getting to retail, Dave? Do you know?
Steamforge, probably. I've seen most of their stuff in retail in the past. Well, where's the best way to start? Maybe on one of these.
Ooh, I'm excited. It's giddy. Removing, what can be more exciting than removing the plastic?
Yep. Survived the shipping pretty good.
Damage. What's that? Oh, that's part of the art?
No, for the art. Okay.
Alright. That reveals nothing. Oh, big maps.
Reference sheets for the different tiles, because it's a modular dungeon crawl. So the game.
And there are the tiles and some tokens. Is that one sheet? No,
This is 6 sheets.
6 sheets. Okay.
5 sheets.
And
Then-
look at all that.
Oh, they went with this sort of style.
Yeah?
Okay.
How do you feel about that, Dave?
Well, I take it over most inserts because at least they're pre-planned,
Right.
whereas most inserts are like you just get rid of them instantly, so you can figure it out yourself.
Yeah, indeed.
But the downside,
These are empty.
yeah,
Oh, these are for the tile or for the tokens.
you gotta know how to put this back together. Is the downside.
Right.
So more of those.
Tons of cards.
Piles and piles of cards.
Piles of cards.
At least it's a decent insert, and I didn't buy the expansion, so I don't have to worry about making it fit. An enormous board. The board apparently is needlessly huge, but you
Lots
know.
of cards.
Rulebook,
Some thick book.
an adventure book.
That's some thick book.
This is quite thick. Holy
Little
cow.
cards! Little cards!
Well, are we going to do the
then-
minis?
Let's-
We'll
let's-
show.
let's
This is
follow
how
that.
it is now. We still have a very good insert for the first time, because
Okay.
usually I'm.
It's not a huge number of miniatures, but they certainly look promising.
Well, don't forget, this is going to probably hopefully go into this in the end.
Right.
Hopefully.
Okay. Let's open this too.
Okay.
Here, you take that.
Okay, I'm going to take that away.
Yep. Get that out. Do it. Look, we're doing it again. Packaging. Ooh, nothing is so as exciting as pulling the shrink wrap off
So-
this stuff.
This should be stretch goal stuff, and then after the campaign ended, they surprised everyone by giving us another 5 or 6 surprise bonus minis that they announced over the course of 5 or 6 weeks or something like that.
How much did you pay for this thing?
You always ask, and I forget because it's in the midst of time at this point. By the time you get your
I guess that's the beauty of Kickstarters is you get the candy after you've forgotten how much you paid for it. Okay, yeah. Another big book.
another big adventure book.
And then some more dudes.
More dudes.
And so 2 trays of dudes?
Is it
Oh,
more?
yeah, it looks like 2 trays of dudes. Well, there's some nice looking monsters in there. All right. Well, shall we take a closer look at the miniatures?
Sure.
So, what do we have up first?
These are the heroes.
The heroes. Everybody loves heroes. These are the guys we play when we go through Bardsung, aren't
Well,
they?
the gals, they're all mohawked warriors.
Oh yeah, punk rock ladies from the 90s with dangerous weapons. I love it. I love it. But what I really love is this little Kenku guy.
Yeah, and Night Feather's his name.
Night Feathers. I always love a crow person. And then the one that I can't get enough of. This is who I'm going to be playing when we play this turtle guy.
Not if I play him instead. It's Wild Shell.
Wild Shell. We'll have to fight over who gets to be Wild Shell because he looks awesome. But who cares about the heroes? The monster painter's all about the monsters. And who do we have up first?
That's the Brigand.
All right. And we get 6 of him, and we get 3 of this guy.
That is the Raider.
The Raider, the Brigand, the Raider, and then we get 2 of him.
The Reaver.
The Raider, the Reaver, the Brigand, and then we get 2 more of this great big hulking guy. He looks dangerous.
There's a Brute.
The Brute is dangerous. He's big, and we get 2 of them. That's not too bad. But only 1 of this fellow.
That is the Butcher.
The Butcher. Just 1 Butcher.
They're all orcs, I guess. It doesn't actually say orc, but they look like it.
Yeah, well, orcs or off-brand orcs. Okay, moving on. These guys don't look like monsters. What do we have here?
The first one's a Miner, and then this one's the Executioner. Another
Executioner.
mohawked Executioner.
Yep, indeed. Looking like tough guys.
This is the King's Guard.
King's Guard, yep. He looks like he could guard the king.
And this is a Sniper.
Sniper, armed with a crossbow.
This is the Arcanist.
Arcanist. I think you get only 1 or 2 of those guys.
2 of that one.
2 of that one. Multiples of the other ones, and then just 1 of this guy. Who's he?
That's the King.
That's the king. Oh, you get the king. Right on. He doesn't look a thing like Elvis. Well, that guy there, he looks super awesome. What is he?
He is a Shadow.
A shadow. He looks cool. 2-headed shadow monster. And this guy?
That is an Elemental.
An elemental, a very earthy elemental, we shall have to say. And then finally, she's big.
That is the Crone.
The Crone, of course, a serious evil lady to fight the good ladies. Okay, we're on to the really cool stuff. The monsters, and that is 1 big rat.
Yep, that is the Giant Rat.
More like a gargantuan rat, if you ask me. And then what do we have here?
That is the Ferris Maw.
Ferris Maw sounds like an off-brand rust monster. And how about this unpleasant-looking fellow?
That is the Reaper.
The Reaper. Okay. Oh, he's got a little. He's killed somebody. He's got a little body on his base.
Wow.
That's nice. And then we have something that is amazingly cool. Oh my God, that's awesome. What is that?
That is the Sepid.
The Sepid is super cool. It's a 2-headed mushroom monster man with a staff. I'm sold. Super awesome. And this Sepid is so cool. We had to shoot his other side because he's got some skeleton stuck into his body. That's an amazingly nice bit of detail. So are these guys are Bardsung brand ogres? What are these guys?
They must be some sort of large orc or ogre type.
Right, and they are cool, but they're really elaborate sculpts.
Yeah, there's every bit of detail on them.
Yep, they're very busy. They might be a lot of fun to paint. They might be a real headache. Who's this monstrous chained orangutan man? I'm loving him. He looks super cool.
That's the Slaughter Beast.
The Slaughter Beast is awesome. And who is this guy?
That is the Berserker.
The Berserker. They're not bad, but what I really like is that detail on his weapon. I mean, that's really cool. It looks really old and deteriorated. So, yep, a cool batch of thugs there. Onward, ever onward. Who's Mr. Happy Feet?
That's a shaman, part of the same sort of ogre. Yeah,
The
goblins we were just
the
looking
ogre
at.
tribe, and this is a great big proper ogre.
That is an ogre. Yep.
Yep. No, we're knee deep into the fantasy tropes, which I love. Why reinvent the wheel, especially when you can have. He's a pretty cool looking Etten. And where there's an Etten, there should always be a giant spider because fantasy tropes are fun, and everybody loves to fear giant spiders. Onward, ever onward, we're into some of the really nice big monsters, and what the heck is that thing?
That one is the Ettercap.
The Ettercap, which goes to show that so many D&D monsters are not copyright protected. And what's this guy?
That is a hook horror.
Oh, a second one that's not copyrighted, straight out of the monster manual. And who is this?
That's the Crimson Hook.
The Crimson Hook. Boy, they look like a trio of really scary creatures, don't they? All right, we're finishing up the big-ish, little-ish monsters. What is that guy?
He is called a Crix.
A Crix. And then we have a classic. What is that?
That's the Gelatinous Cube.
And that is one of the most interesting gelatinous cubes I've ever seen. He's pretty cool. Uh-oh. Looks like Dave noticed a problem. Well, what's the problem, Dave?
He's not quite stuck down, or he's removable. I'm not sure.
I wouldn't think he's removable. Oh, but what lovely little detail on the base. Yeah, no, looks like he's just not glued on properly. Nothing that a little bit of super glue won't sort out really quickly. And the last monster, the big boss of the box. Who do we have here?
That is the Greater Demon.
And yeah, he sure is a greater demon. The guy is enormous. He towers over the hero model. He is huge and weird and fully detailed. He is one big-ass greater demon. Very impressive. So that was everything from the base game, but your base game came with what's all this?
Well, one box worth of stretch goals.
Oh, the stretch goals, eh? And who are these two stretch goal guys?
The first one's Forge Warden, and then that's Skull Splitter.
So I guess a Warforged fantasy robot and a classic barbarian, and then we get a centaur falconer with a sickle.
Glade Strider.
Glade Strider, and Glade Strider's little friend,
Fire Soul.
Fire Soul. How lovely. Well, that looks like an interesting selection of player characters. Okay, but we still get more player characters, and it looks like we got a bard.
Yeah, that's Fate Song.
Fate Song, and I guess she's going to be trying to seduce this lizard man? What is a lizard man monk?
Yeah, Swift Claw.
Swift Claw, the lizard man monk. I think that's very fun. Very contemporary kind of fantasy character, but a more classic one. Who do we have here?
That's Path Seeker.
Path Seeker, off balance, shooting her bow, very dramatic, and
Very Robin Hood.
yeah, very Robin Hood. And who's she?
That is Hex.
Hex. Just a pretty standard tough guy. Well, I guess tough girl. Tough girl knight. Well, that's kind of refreshing, isn't it? The stretch goals don't stop. The monsters just keep coming. And we're having trouble figuring out who exactly each one of these guys are. But they are terrifying, aren't they, Dave?
Yeah, so we have some sort of golem and some sort of, looks like a specter knight of some sort.
Weird melty monster and another dwarf there. And we got a guy with an elaborate evil shield. And finally, some orky looking fellow with two axes. Always happy to hit the tabletop with an orky looking fellow with two axes. And Bardsung is deep. We have a very stoic looking orc or something. And speaking of something, this is so cool. It's a Hammerhead Shark man with a club made out of a chunk of a wrecked ship. That's super awesome. And equally as awesome is this Grell-like monster. It looks pretty Grell-like.
Yeah.
Classic D&D, straight from the first edition Fiend Folio. But this cloaker-looking fellow, he's a monster manual too. But he looks really cool. they've got some nice monsters for sure with this Kickstarter. Still more monsters, not just a wolf, but a wolf pack. That is pretty fun. And then of course a classic. Looks like it's a basilisk. It's a good thing we're not turning all to stone. And then something that's not classic, a robot hellhound dog monster. 100% super cool.
Look at his base. His base is different than all the rest.
You're right. He's got a integrated base that's some kind of mechanical looking themed base, so that's even more fun. And of course, we get some kind of weird slime monster creature. He's got a sword sticking out of his back. That's again, these are great sculpts and really imaginative takes on classic monsters, and some wonderfully original monsters too. I gotta say, I am loving this set. So, Dave, you have something special to say about this Clockwork Wolf monster?
Well, what I don't have is the first expansion to the game, which is very much based around clockwork and sort of steampunky sort of look. So I'm wondering if this dog is tied into that, and maybe the base, maybe that's how they did the expansion.
All right, all the expansions all have this base, and you just got one little taste in this stretch goal pack.
Yeah, I can't say that for sure, but that's our guess in our unboxing.
Yep, this sounds reasonable. On to the boring stuff that makes a game actually work. Cards. And this game comes with an awful lot of cards, doesn't it, Dave?
Yeah, lots of characters. There's lots of monsters in there that we don't see them for.
Yeah, there's
some dogs, there's cats.
Cards that we don't understand yet. A ton of cards, good weight on the cards, beautiful graphics.
Nice texture.
Yeah, what did they call that texture?
I believe it's called wheat.
Yes, and if that's not enough, if this heap of cards is not enough, it comes with this cool coin. I love this cool coin.
I guess it's a star player token.
Maybe. And of course, we have to have tokens and tiles, and my god. Oh, they're already starting to come apart because they're big tiles. All sorts. How many are there? There are 5. And they all got pretty graphics. And look at that. Double-sided. That's nice.
They're very colorful.
Yeah, that's very dramatic stuff. I'm already wanting to crawl through this dungeon just from looking at these tiles.
Are they square?
Super large number of tokens. I
don't see a grid.
That's square, but yeah, no grid. I know you like grids, Dave.
I do like grids in Dungeon Crawlers.
But a duplicate set of tiles, lots of tokens, lots of tiles, everything you want in a great big dungeon crawl. And what is a dungeon crawler or any board game without a rule book? And this is a fat rule book. It's a little scary, don't you think, Dave?
Yeah, it's about 40 pages worth of
40 pages, but we got a lot of graphics. We got a lot of we get the inventory, and there's lots of graphics. It looks well laid out, and it's pretty good quality paper stock. And yeah, 43 pages of rule book. That's not all we get. We get an adventure book. That also looks huge.
It is huge. It's as big as most video game manuals.
Yeah.
The books that you can buy.
Yep, and this is all full of scenarios and stuff by the looks of it.
Yeah, a whole campaign of over 30 sessions.
30 sessions, that is pretty heavy. This thing is a, holy mackerel, 179 pages. Binding doesn't seem super awesome. Yeah, it looks like a pretty plain glue binding. I don't know. A little wear and tear, and this thing might be falling apart, but it's hard to say. And then a second adventure book.
This is a part of the stretch goals.
The stretch goals, Legends of the Ancient Forge Fables. And it looks pretty similar. I guess it's just a whole bunch of different scenarios. Oh, look at him. That's a great illustration. He looks terrible. I like it. They're fun illustrations, and so we get another 99 pages with the stretch goals, but a couple of those are well,
the notes are like music sheets.
Music sheets, that's fun. Well, yep, so great graphics, a lot of paper, iffy binding if you ask me, but hey, that's what you get sometimes. You know what really makes me happy about this game, don't you, Dave?
The dice.
Yeah, I love to see myself some polyhedron dragon dice. And hey, who made this lovely dice tray?
I did.
Oh, cool. Here we have the last thing in the game, which is the board. Is it a big board, Dave?
Oh, it's a very large board. We got 9 segments here.
9 segments.
It just keeps going.
And it's a
Getting
puzzle
confused
to,
here.
the first dungeon puzzle is putting the board out.
Yeah.
And that is a fantastically big board.
Yeah, it's a little bit low res in its the print quality.
Yeah, it's a small graphic that's been blown up to an enormous size, perhaps.
But it's I see it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 here, so
Yep, that might
maybe
mean something.
4.
And then on the other side, just a big number 6.
No, that's the Bardsung symbol.
Oh, that's the Bardsung symbol.
But it's got 4 points. But who knows?
Yeah.
We don't know the
Yeah.
game yet. But it's a bit low res in the textures, the pixelation.
Right, but, well, yeah, I guess that's that. All right, Dave, that was a great big pile of candy.
It's a lot of miniatures for the price of the game. That's pretty good.
That is a lot of miniatures. Do you remember how much you paid for it?
I'm not sure. I think it was around 180 Canadian.
$180 Canadian. Even this cheapskate here thinks that's a reasonable deal because there's a lot of miniatures, a lot of very interesting sculpts, some downright exciting sculpts, a lot of big models, a lot of characters, a lot of fun in there. Now, we haven't played the game yet.
No, I only literally got it a couple days ago, and that's the first time even looking at the box.
An amazing feat of delayed gratification. You had the box for a week, and you didn't crack it open until you brought it over here. So I'm proud of you. Do you think it was worthwhile?
I hope so. We have our views on Kickstarters, and
Yes, I like to call it shit starters.
so even though I'm with the monster painter here, it's not the minis that attracted me to any Kickstarter or even this one. I was kind of drawn to this one because I like the idea that it wasn't too much expansive content. I like the idea that it was a singular game, one board that had modular play.
Right.
And that's what attracted me to it.
And it's not a campaign game, it's a one-off scenario game?
That's what I thought, though. Opening it up, there is a big campaign book, but when I was watching the Kickstarter, it seemed like it was a one night a game thing.
Why not have both, though?
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. I like the idea that it kind of had a modular tile, dungeon crawl with a beginning, middle, and end, and then you're done for the night. And that's why I liked it more so than these games that profess to have 50 gameplays and hundreds of hours to get through it.
Yep. Who plays a game for hundreds of hours?
Well, the Gloomhaven guys.
Yeah.
That's who played it.
True enough. And this box was Gloomhaven heavy, but with a lot of miniatures and none of those silly standees.
And I guess not that much more of a cost when you think of Gloomhaven's over here in Canada, over $120 to buy new.
Yep, Gloomhaven is expensive, that's for sure. And I think you got a good deal just based off of the quality and the volume of the miniatures. This game was worth kickstarting. I say that with a great deal of skepticism about Kickstarters. Next week on The Monster Painter, Bones 6 is closing, and I take another run at Bones 5.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe.
Ring the bell! Ring the bell!
You are watching Les the Monster Painter.